Loud car. Huh. But yeah, anyways, guys, how's she going? So, heard a loud car or something over there. But, so we're going to talk about a little something today. Of course, I'm not really sure here, but I got to look into the old, this is for the A. We have a little problem with the A. But still trying to diagnose, we're trying to figure out anyway, if the problem we're dealing with is a new problem or if it's been a problem for a long time. Now, when my uncle ran the little A for a lot of years there, he was always talking about it leaking oil. And he always had to put like a little pails or whatever underneath of it to catch the oil so then he could just dump it right back in when he needed it. Now I gotta try to find that page. I think we're getting close. But, yeah. So, I'll have to show you guys what I'm talking about. But, so, back on the 29th, I guess so, it would have been yesterday, but I had ran the Farmall A. So running it pretty hard. This is probably the hardest I've pushed it since it was probably parked. I harrowed some cow pies. That's probably actually the easiest job for it. Because the homemade harrow, is like 15 feet wide, but there's not really a lot to it, right? So it's all homemade, but there's probably close to 100 pounds there, maybe even 200 pounds, but it's just not that heavy. So I did that, and then I took a break, let the tractor have a little bit of a cool down, decided to go and have something to eat, yada, yada, yada. And then later that night, or in the evening, I went to work up the trail. So, but then this time I was in third gear. So, just third gear, maybe a little over half throttle, wasn't even full throttle. I don't know, all these tractors, they're geared so, they're not geared stupidly, but they're just geared in a way where you don't really got to send a lot of power to them. They just seem to have their own, magic power. They can pull themselves out of anything without even needing a lot of RPMs from the engine. So naturally, when you're pulling hills, you hear the tractor lug a little bit, which is normal because I don't have it pinned wide open. So, but she still don't like to be ran wide open. I noticed she kind of likes to surge a little bit, like go up and down. It dips, but that could be, just carburetor maybe not adjusted right or whatever. I mean, who knows? So, but I mean, even if you did run it wide open or whatever, it seems to pull itself out of that little bit of a funk anyway. Eventually it'll run fairly smoothly, but who knows? It could just be a carburetor issue, or who knows, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But the problem that we're running into is when I was working up the trails. Now you have to keep in mind that I was in third gear, so I was really, pushing her hard. And I was cultivating the trail. I wasn't really cultivating it because can't pull that John Deere cultivator with it. And my spring tooth harrow, it's not really designed to be a cultivator. It's more or less it's meant to be a harrow. But it still kind of does what I want it to do. It ain't great, but it's better than nothing. So, but I don't know if maybe because I was going in third gear, so I was really giving her, well, maybe a little over halfway through it, or maybe even closer to the end there, I started getting a smell of, I guess it would be transmission oil, which I think it just takes 80-90. It's either 80-90 or just 80 weight. I don't know. I got both of those kinds of jugs, but so, but I was starting to smell it. And my uncle did say that this tractor, well, when he drove it anyway, it always leaked. But I never really knew exactly out of where. He says it was out of on each, like where the rear drive tires mount to, it's underneath that part of the axle. There's almost like a little oil pan there on both sides. And I guess I haven't looked for it in this book yet, so I don't know if this book even talks about it. I won't know until I really need to study it, but I'm only studying what I need to study for at the moment. So, but he says that they always leaked. Those little oil pans, I don't know what they're exactly called. I just call them oil pans. So, but I've been running it. This will be technically its first year since it was parked that I've actually pushed this tractor hard. Because last year, it didn't do a hell of a lot until the starter, it ran half the summer, if even that, and then the starter, blew up. So, but then I got that fixed and now we're running it. So, it didn't really do much last year. And in the year before that, I think that's when we were still trying to diagnose problems with it. So, but yeah, it seems like the more this tractor actually runs, the better it runs. She seems to start a lot better now. She still doesn't really like to idle, but I think that's just an idling problem. I think the idle might be a little bit too low for it. But it doesn't sound low, but it is. I don't know, I guess, whatever, I don't know. So, and it doesn't seem to be drinking that much fuel like it used to. Because I know when we had it running, when we first finally got it firing up and we were using it a little bit, just a little bit, it was just burning through the fuel. So, she still blows a little bit of crap out of the exhaust, white smoke or whatever. Not sure if that's blow by or just, I don't know. It's blowing something out of the exhaust. Sometimes it looks black, but if it's black, it's probably just unburnt fuel. But if it's white, I'm not really sure what that is, besides maybe a little bit of blow by sneaking by or something. I don't really know. But she does have a lot of blow by during warm up. But once she kind of gets hot, it lessens up, but it's still there. But the engine, I can totally tell that the engine's getting tired. It's getting wore out. So it's got way more blow by than the 400, and it's probably got about the same amount as my 15. But the 15 is up there. It's probably well over 9,000 hours. I don't know. Digital tack broke a few years ago, and I just haven't had it fixed, but I've been ranking up hours, so. But whatever. It's just whatever it is, right? So, but like I said, when I was running it the other day, you could smell the oil, but then I noticed that maybe, don't know if it was the transmission or if it's the axles, like where the tires would mount to, because I think on each tire, but in the axle, it has its own gearing system. There's like another big gear there. Because I think technically these tractors are supposed to be kind of somewhat of a high crop, but not like an actual high crop. So I don't know, but they have a goofy transmission and axle setup, but I think there's supposed to be oil in that part of the transmission or the axle, whatever. But when the tractor would go on the side of a hill, so you'd be leaning to one side or the other, you would hear a louder whine from the transmission. And now these Farmalls have been known to have a noisy transmission and a noisy rear end. It doesn't matter how much oil you put in them, they will always have a slight noise to them. That's just the way they built them. I sure in the hell don't build them like that nowadays. So, but so I imagine that it's a little bit low on transmission oil now, because I don't know how bad it's been leaking out, but You know it's bad enough when if you smell it enough, it's so strong smelling that it literally makes you sick, But I don't think it's been leaking. This is my own personal opinion. I don't think it's ever been leaking out of the oil pans underneath. I think it's been coming out of the PTO on the rear of this. Because after I worked up the trail, I stopped, got ready for transport, to go back to the farmyard with it. I was kind of snooping around a little bit because I could smell oil. And sure as shit, you can see it just kind of ever so slowly dripping out of the PTO shaft. Which I believe between the PTO shaft and your housing, I don't know what part it is exactly, but I think they call that a oil seal. I don't think it's called a gasket because it's a different... Well, it shows in the book. And that's what I'm going to show you. So, I think she's always been leaking out of the PTO. I think that's why it's always... Because what it's doing is it's running out of the PTO, running along the axle, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, for the rear end, runs down to the oil pan on the left side, and then just drips onto the ground. But the left side oil pan, that's just what I'm calling it, on the left side, or the driver's side, whatever you want to call it, that's soaking wet. But the passenger side, the opposite side, is bone dry. So, kind of makes me kind of wonder if maybe that hasn't always been the issue. Now, yes, gaskets can go bad, they can wear out, they can crack, normal. But if it was actually the oil pan on that side, you think that the passenger side would have blown out by now too, and then you'd be pissing oil out of that too. I think what's going on is that when my uncle would drive it, he was so, driving it so hard that oil just happened to be spraying everywhere. And it made it look like it was coming out of the oil pans. Just my opinion. But it's kind of funny how I'm driving it, get that smell, check it out. It's coming out of the PTO. So, the only guy that I know of that probably would know how to tear this apart, I don't know about the young guy. I don't know if he would know what this is. This was even before he was born. So there's a guy on YouTube. I know he restored one of these Farmall A's. He probably would know how you would remove that. In the book, it doesn't really show how to remove it. It just kind of more or less gives you the breakdown on this. But I'll show you here. I'll flip the camera around and show you. I'll show you just what I think it is. So, yeah, let's take a look here. Okay, so we are going to take a look here. So this is supposed to be all your PTO. This is your rear 540 PTO. Not too sure. I think somewhere in here they still call it a independent, but that's not correct. So, anyways, this is supposed to be your PTO. From what the book says anyway. Well, it says somewhere in here. Yeah, PTO, whatever. Okay, so this is your PTO. This is what powers your doohickey. Obviously, number 6. Where would that be? It wouldn't be under here, would it? Or would it be... Huh. Well, it doesn't say here, but that's kind of weird. It's got numbers here, but those numbers I don't think go to this. Because if you look at number 6, well, number 6 is planet carrier. So, I don't know. Unless it's somewhere else, but whatever, doesn't matter. So, apparently, Now, I don't know which one exactly it is, but if you look at number 48, this is why I'm thinking it's number 48, but I may be wrong. Oil seal. Okay, and then you have number 46. If you find 46, gasket. But I think it's the seal. It's that guy. This little round guy right here, 48. Because I think that sits right in here, I believe. Somewhere right inside this PTO shaft doohickey gizmo. And that would be... This is a different tractor, but I think it's the seal that goes literally right in between the PTO shaft and the outer, well, whatever the frick they call that outside part of it. So, you know, this is just a guy. Looks like he's pulling it out, but yeah. So it would be like, I think right in there, like right here is this, on this picture here, it's got a ball bearing, but that's just because he's removing it. So I think there is a ball bearing in this. I don't think it's the ball bearing. It can't be, because there's no slop actually in the shaft. I thought there was a ball bearing in here. Oh, there is right there, I think. Number 13. Yeah. Drive shaft front bearing. But I don't think... It looks like it's... I don't know. They're obviously just tearing this apart, so it's kind of... It's all kind of confusing, but... To me, I feel like it's number 48. Which, again, is the oil seal. The problem is I don't know how you would remove the PTO from the tractor. I don't think you have to split it. It doesn't look like you have to in the pictures. I don't think they were ever talking about splitting it. It's hard to show. Here's a PTO shaft, but he's removing it removes the planet gear or whatever. Somehow I got to get that out, I think. I think this is for a different tractor this year. I don't know. It still says A. This is all your... Apparently what it all covers. So, I don't know. So, I don't know if I actually need this stinking tool right here. I don't know what that's some kind of a puller, I guess. I don't know if I would need that. Probably. I don't know where the hell you'd even get that from. You probably could make your own, but I'm not good at making stuff, so... But... I think... Because when you look at it here... Let's see, number 48. Because I don't think these numbers share these numbers. I don't think they do. I think, well, they have to, though, because that makes no... Well, let's just look at it. Well, 40, no, because it's 43 then if you look at it this way. That says bearing. I don't think that's a bearing, but... I don't know. This book is kind of confusing because they're lacking some things, I think, but then what the hell do I know? I'm not a goddamn mechanic, so... But... What is this? That's not even for our tractor, so... I don't know. But I think in order to replace the seal... I think you'd have to pull it. That's what I think. I guess... I don't know how this is... how this actually goes together, but I'm guessing like summer would be dead center. Like let's just say this was dead center, the center of everything. This would all kind of go there, and then all this would kind of go into that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's got to be, this is obviously a breakdown, but obviously this stuff has to go in order. And then they're showing 27. You got a little arrow here, and you follow it, goes to this. That's your PTO shaft. Okay, so what is number 27? 27 seal ring. Well, how the hell do you remove that? I mean, I don't know if that's what's holding it in place. I wouldn't think so. You would think it would be possibly 47. Bearing retainer. I fucking damned if I know. I gotta just. I don't know, it's all confusing to me, but at least we have it. So, but it's either got to be 48 or 46. I think it's 48, which again would be oil seal. Because you're trying to keep the oil in the damn gearbox. You're not supposed to let it come out. That's what keeps all this from getting, overheating and drying out and, running dry. So, I don't know, but that's what I think it is. I think it's the oil seal. But I think in order to get to that, you have to pull it. Unless it comes with number 40, which would be the housing cover. Question mark. Because if you just pull the cover, the housing cover, will the seals come with it? And will the shaft stay behind? If I don't have to pull the shaft out, I don't really want to have to. I'd rather just pull the cover, if possible. Because you know that the seal has to sit in that cover, you would think. So, that's what I'm trying to think, but I'm not a mechanic, and this is all new to me. Like I said, there's only that one guy on YouTube that he actually rebuilt a Farmall A, and no clue if he's been into this. I don't remember ever seeing a video about it, but maybe I overlooked it or something, or I just don't plain actually remember now. But I know that there is a gasket behind number 40, 39. And that is obviously a gasket, 39. Well, yeah, gasket. Well, most likely probably going to break that when you try to remove the cover. So, now obviously this doesn't give me part numbers. I don't have a book that gives me part numbers. I don't know. Maybe there would be one. I would have to look. Right now this is just, it's a shop book. Shop book. There you go. Oh, just in case you're wondering, there you go. So, that's whatever. It's what I'm thinking it is anyway. I think it's 48. Maybe could be 40, 46. So, a reminder, number 48 is the oil seal. And then 46 is, it's just a gasket. It's not a special name, it's just a gasket. So, I don't know. So that guy with the other twin tractor to mine, except his is obviously nice, and ours looks like it's been to hell and back. He would have to tell me what you would think. If he thinks it's 48, well then I would kind of know where to go from there. I'd probably be able to go on Case IH's website and find like an actual part number to that, and But I think if you're going to order that, you might as well order 46 and you might as well order 39 as well. You might as well just order that and replace it. I'm not going to replace the bearing. Yeah, there is a bearing right here. Yeah, 43. That's a roller bearing, ain't it? What did I say it was? 43. Yeah, bearing. Did I not say that earlier? I don't remember. So that would be... What is this here? Come on here. I'm trying to make sense of the stupid book 43, but I don't think it's in here though either. 43, but that's not right. It's just pointing to like this. I mean, it would make sense if these were sharing numbers. You know, that would make more sense. But then, see, but they have number 6 right here. But the number 6 here is whatever the hell that is, number 6. So they're not sharing the same numbers. But if they were, that would be a lot more useful. But what is number 6 anyway? Just because I'm curious. Where the hell is it? Planet carrier. Well, that would definitely make sense, but I don't see it here. Would it be this little... Ouch. Would it be this? Like, this is obviously cut in half, but maybe this is it right here where these little dots are at. But they're not using the same numbers, though, which is stupid, but... So basically, from what I think, so the oil seal would have to be on the outside of that cover. Obviously, it would be in it, would it be on the outside of it? So it would be, to me, it would be right here. Because my big finger's in the freaking way, you can't see anything, but... So it would have to be... like right here. Right there. That's where it would have to be. Right in here. You know. So, I don't want to get my damn book all greasy. It's got grease all over it. But, that's what I think it is. The question is how the hell do you get that out of there? So, I'll use my knife. It might be a better pointer. So... my theory is that it's in this thing right here. That seal. You know. Because you can see it from the outside. I can see it when I look at it. You can tell that there's some kind of a bushing or, in this case, a seal. But the question is, how do you get it out? Can you get it out without having to actually pull the shaft? Because it looks like... I mean, well, here's your PTO doohickey. Does this even have a part number or like a number? No, 24 maybe. Well, it'd just be housing. Oh, well, that would make sense. Okay, so your housing's right here. This is obviously what you can see. Then it looks like you have a bearing. You got a brake. I don't know what the hell that is. Probably some kind of a... What is that? Number 35. Oh, that's your brake drum. So your brake pad would be on that. Then you have this doohickey. You got that doohickey. You got this doohickey. Looks like another brake band. Then your gasket. Then the cover. A rolling bearing. Roller bearing. Whatever the hell that is. 44. Whatever. What are you? You're creepy. Lock washer. 45, that would be a nut. Then you have another gasket. 47, bearing retainer. 48 is your oil seal. And then 49. Okay, well, 49 is your shaft guard. That's that pussy thing that everybody removes all the time so you can't get your hand wrapped up in the PTO shaft. Ours is gone because it had to be deleted because we have that mower thing on it. That in itself is going to be an interesting son of a bitch to remove because our PTO is not actually exposed because we have that mower attachment hooked onto it. So we have a pulley, a giant spring, which is probably torqued to 1,000,000 foot-pounds, and a bunch of other crap. So we'd have to pull that off in order to even get to the shaft. But I don't really want to begin to rip shit apart until we figure out if it's this or if it's this. But I feel like it's this. 48. 48. Oil seal. I think it's that, but it could be one of those. It's definitely not that because then it would be coming out of the cover. I can see it coming out of the shaft. Or out of the shaft. So it's coming out down here, and then it runs to the bottom of the tractor. Who knew that my knife would actually work out as a better pointer than my finger? So it's coming out of here. But see, again, I can't trust these numbers. But see, like right here, 48. It points to what looks like an oil seal. 48. So they're sharing the same numbers. I don't know, I guess you'd have to kind of just cross match these numbers, but I don't think that they would match because already some of them don't. So, 24. What did we say 24 was before? 24. So that would be your housing. Maybe they're sharing the same numbers because now if you think about it, 24 is your housing. Where is it? 24. Housing. You look at it here. Where the hell did I see 24 at now? Right here. 24. Well, it looks like it's just pointing at the housing. Of course, what that big giant bolt is, who knows, but I don't know. You'd have to really just see if you can cross match these numbers and see if they would actually line up to what they're supposed to. Because then maybe these are matching then. This is just like a inside view. And then this is just what is in it, you know, a breakdown. You know what? I think that is. Because look at here now. Number 19. What is number 19? Where are you? 19. Coupling shaft. Okay. That right there. That's this little guy. And then if you go down here, same thing. So yeah. So that's where, yeah, I think it's that. I think it's 48. I think it's the seal that's in here that's done God bad on us. I don't think it's 46, and it's definitely not 39, because that's just the gasket for this, and it's coming out of here. If it was coming out of here, it'd be coming out of here down here. So my theory is that it's number 48. This is actually just making a little bit better sense now. So, but I don't know. You guys tell me. But personally, I think it's definitely 48. I think that's it. But the problem is I don't know how. Can I just unbolt the cover and this will all come with it? Well, minus the shield, but. So basically, like, really everything from this point forward would have to come off. All this behind should stay behind because that would technically be in there. But I don't know. So, you can tell me, I guess. But personally, I think this would all stay behind. This forward would come off. And then the seal, well, that's probably just pushed in there with, well, in my case, I'd have to do it by hand or with a hammer or something, just be gentle with it. And that's it. But I would have to figure out, the first thing I need to figure out is how can this come off? Can I just pull the cover and will that all come with it? Or do I have to pull the shaft too? I don't really want to have to pull the damn shaft. I'd rather just leave that behind. But I don't think we'll have to split the tractor. I think we should be able to just take the mower stuff off and then pull that cover. And then it should, all this should come with it. So, but I guess you guys tell me. Like I said, I'm still learning here. I know Reesty6 said that he's had, apparently he's got some books from I&T, and he's had pretty good luck with them. Well, see, the thing is, too, is for the type of tractor that you're dealing with, and of course, what I'm dealing with, there's such much older tractors, and there's nothing really to them, That's why these tractors are such great tractors for beginners that just want to learn how to become a mechanic or whatever, or just want to fix shit for a living. So, or tinker with tractors. So, but when it comes to the big 1586, that's a nightmare. So, I don't know. That is going to be $1 million question there, because we're going to have to fix that seal, because I don't know when we'll get around to it, but it would be nice to at least maybe get some parts together or some part numbers and go off of that, and then maybe at least get the parts here. I don't know. So I don't know if that'll even get fixed this year or not. So, but it's kind of funny, though, to see it leaking, because you almost kind of think that, well, maybe it would leak if it was actually spinning, because then all that's moving, but it's going to leak no matter what, because I was actually hoping to cut a little bit of grass with it this year to test out the sickle bar. But I'm not going to keep dumping oil all the time either, because that's going to get hellish expensive. It doesn't matter what you buy. I could throw in used, oil, hydraulic oil, or whatever this tractor. I mean, at this point, this tractor will take anything, I know in the book they recommend a certain style or a certain type of oil. You're not going to run that when your tractor just leaks it all out. That's why, the 15's parked, because the 15 blew a seal. And I have to pull that out. Well, it's not the PTO. It's behind the 3-point. It's not the 3-point itself. It's actually behind that, just above it. You have to remove the 3-point in order to get to it, which removing the 3-point is not that bad. I looked at it in the book. The young guy told me what to do. I just haven't done it yet because I've been putting the Farmall through its paces. So, but I don't know. I think if we fix that frickin' seal, I think the tractor would be done leaking. I think that's where it's always been leaking out of, is the PTO shield. Because I know that my uncle, when he drove it, he would always use a higher gear, so second or third, fourth if he was on a road. But how often does the tractor see the road? So for me, depending on what I'm doing with it, if I'm moving the tractor from its sleeping spot to the attachment that I want to hook up to, I will be in first gear, because the tractor is still warming up, and I don't like to push it hard when it's warming up. Once it's warmed up, again, depending on what I'm pulling behind it, sometimes I'll be in second gear, and sometimes I'll be in third gear. I've yet to actually hit fourth gear, so because these tractors are just geared goofy. They are geared extremely high for what for what you need. Even reverse is too freaking fast. I wish there was a way you could gear it down a little bit so it'd be a little slower in reverse. But you can't. So, but I wish the one thing these tractors had was a TA. Would have been fantastic. But then, of course, if that blew out, well, then you got to split the tractor. I know on the 400, the 400 that we have does have a TA, but I don't know if it works or not. I don't think I've never seen my uncle use it, so I think it still does, because I think there was that one time he did use it, but I don't think he's ever used it. I don't think he hardly ever uses it, so I don't know if it still works or not. But yeah. But I wish the A's had a TA on them. That'd be kind of nice. But because at least then you could gear it down a little bit. Even in reverse, you could gear it down a little bit. So that's why I want to get the TA fixed on the 15, because I freaking miss my TA. Even though we're using it for the wrong reasons, but it sure is nice to have it when you want to slow down just a little bit, but you don't want to throttle all the way down to like a dead idle. So, because that's not good for the engines either, to be running at such a low RPMs. So, but yeah, lots of tractors to fix and not enough money and time and frickin' parts. So, but I was kind of hoping to get Big Red under the knife. I want to get my hydraulic press here and then order at least the ball joints, get new ball joints put in this stupid thing. But the hydraulic press thing, I would think it'd probably be, what the hell was that? Probably 350, maybe close to $400. It's not a fancy one. It's like the lowest. It doesn't have any bells and whistles. It's just a stock press. So, and that's all I need. Because how often am I going to use this stupid thing? I'll probably use it one time to replace all these ball joints. And then I'll probably sit for another freaking 4 years before I have to use it again, right? Same with my air tools. What did I do with my air tools? Oh yeah, they're up here. I have air tools. And I haven't used them things in about 4 or 5 years. I have an air 1/2-inch impact gun and then a 1/2 or 3/4 or whatever the hell it is. It's like an angle grinder, but it's a cutting wheel, cutoff tool or whatever. But it all runs off of air, right? Well, this air compressor is so goddamn slow to build air, and it's got a leak in it, so I got to fix that. So, if I got to cut anything, it's just faster with the 4.5-inch grinder. I got cut-off wheels for that, and of course, then just some regular grinding wheels. So, but yeah, to anybody I guess that knows anything about these beautiful rear ends, let me know. I know, what the hell is it? Beer. I don't freaking remember your name. It's just, I don't think of it. So, but I know he's got one of these tractors, and he, like I said, he completely rebuilt one, but I don't know if he's ever had to pull the PTO on his, or I don't know. So, but unfortunately, I think that's what I'm going to have to do to fix that. But luckily, I think it's just that seal. But I got to know what I have to do to get that thing off. Do I have to pull the whole shaft with it, or can I just take the cover off and will that all just come with it? Because I don't think there's anything else wrong with it. It just needs that new seal put in. Because I think that's what the problem is. It's just that stupid seal. Put a brand new seal in it. You check it. Tractor can go right back to the field. Top it off with more transmission oil, which I'm getting low on. And I don't remember what the hell I threw in there. Because I'm pretty sure it was this stuff. And this is 80-90. But I have another, this is a 2.5 gallon jug too. But I have another jug up at the garage. And I think that's just strictly 80 weight. Yeah, that's gear oil. Just here. But I'm pretty sure the other shit was, it's all gear oil. So, it doesn't really matter. But I actually put some of this in my lawnmower. The mower deck, the little gearbox. It was slightly low on oil. So I just threw some of that in there. Called it day done. It smells the same, looks the same. No clue if it tastes the same because I'm not that retarded to actually want to taste that. But oil is oil. It's going to lubricate. It's going to keep things cool. Same thing with the Farmall. It's the same thing with the 1586 too. You don't put high-end hydraulic oil in your tractor when you have severe leaks. Even the young guy says he doesn't do that. He runs the cheapest crap that he can run in the 1566. Because he says that tractor just leaks everywhere. The John Deere 4240, that's springing leaks everywhere. But he runs, when the tractors weren't leaking oil, like the John Deere and the 1086, he would run Case IH oil in that. You know, so the high-end stuff. But that all leaked out, or, you know, the tractor, the 1086 is down, the clutch went out, wiring got chewed on. He just doesn't have time to get it in the shop and repair it. But he's got a Case International Magnum 7130, I think it was. And he's running IH oil in that because it doesn't leak. My John Deere lawnmower, that thing is old. I bought it brand new in 2009. I run John Deere oil in that, hydraulic oil. Because one, yes, it is the very best stuff for my machine, but two, it doesn't leak. There's no leaks. Which is impressive for a 10-plus-year-old tractor, you know, more, to not have one damn leak in it. That's why I'm not bitching, because that's been a very damn good mower. So, I gotta check my oil level. I haven't done that yet, but I gotta do that too. So, but my uncle's mower broke down. He's got a John Deere RX-75, so it's a much older unit. He had a frickin' wheel bearing, or I think it was two, that gave out. So then the one wheel, I think it literally fell off, the front steer tire, because they're like literally that big. He said it fell off. So now he's got to run the John Deere, get some wheel bearings for the mower. So he didn't get to finish his yard. I had to go over there and finish, and I mowed mine too. So that was a couple days ago. So, and the same thing with my mower deck. When I had to get that new drive spindle put in, that come from John Deere. I didn't get a aftermarket one. Don't trust them. So, of course, John Deere is expensive, $86. That's including tax. So, but not complaining. It's in. I put it in. It's working great. I've mowed my yard like 4 or 5 times already, and it still hasn't blown apart yet. So, I guess I did something right for once. So, knock on all the wood I got here. That doesn't ever come flying apart, but it will. So, knock on some extra wood for me, boys. Pray for that. But anyways, that's pretty much the end of this video. But yeah, so if you happen to be watching my video, I guess point me in the right direction here. Tell me what you think, because I'd hate to, you know, learn this shit the hard way. I'd rather get a little bit of help, or at least tell me kind of what to do, so then I can figure it out. I mean, of course, you will learn with time. Obviously, you got to just tear shit apart to learn. But I would hate to fuck that tractor up, because we actually need that tractor right now. Just like Big Red, I need Big Red, but Big Red's so messed up that you can't even drive them. So, but I'm gonna, like I said, try to fix the ball joints and the exhaust and the valve cover gasket. Try to do that all myself, and then all that's left is the charging system. And then, but that'll have to be done at the repair shop. And another thing why I don't like things sitting when they're broke down, this is what happens when they break, when stuff breaks down and you don't fix it right away. Turns into a frickin' storage thing. I'm surprised I don't have something on the damn back. Well, I only put that in here because God knows I'm probably going to need it again, but it doesn't sit out here all winter though. I put it in the basement in the winter, but yeah. But that's what happens to all my stuff when it fucking just sits around and does nothing. It becomes a storage collection thing. So I need to wash that out, get it out of here. So, but yeah, I guess guys, I'm going to take off. Just I guess let me know if anybody has any ideas. To me, that would kind of make sense that if you just pulled that cover off, that bushing and or the seal and stuff would come with it. But I don't know. So I guess you guys can tell me. But if it does, that's great. If not, well, then that's going to be trouble. But it should, you would think. But I don't know if I can get those parts from Case IH, but I think I probably could get them through Steiner. There might be some aftermarket ones, but I don't really want to go with aftermarket, you know. I'd rather stick with Steiner, even though they kind of are aftermarket a little bit. But they usually more or less try to copy the original, so it looks original, you know. So, but I don't know. If I have to go aftermarket, then I will, but I don't really want to have to, but if I do, I do. So, we'll worry about that at a later date. Right now, I just want to know what you guys think of that. I guess how that would come off. Because I would hate to have to pull the damn shaft with it. If I could just remove the cover, that would be better. Yeah, I'm probably still going to dump oil, but I don't think I'm going to pull it apart until I can get the parts here. So, yeah. Yeah, this. I guess I'll show this. This is what I run. This is what I run in the 1586. This is like, I don't know, this is still 86 bucks a pail. The young guy says he can get cheaper stuff at another place, but it's further from home, and this is close. So, but I think if it came to the 15. I don't know if I could. I probably could run this in the Farmall if I had to. Of course, these pails are empty, but if I had to, I could probably get a 5-gallon pail of that shit, and then just throw in a whole bunch. So, but I don't know. If we don't have any leaks, then I probably will run the proper stuff for it. So I'm pretty sure it took 80-90 for the tractor, for the Farmall. And if that's what it likes, well, then that's what it'll get again. But that jug's just about empty. So that's not going to happen. I have to get another jug of that stuff, but whatever. No big deal. I don't know why I think those are only like $30. I don't know, probably more than 30, probably like 50, but whatever. One jug will go a long ways for me if we can fix the leaks. So, but I don't know. You guys tell me. But anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.